I did a poll recently and 80% of you said that you're interested in detailing your car. The problem is, there's a ton of misinformation and outdated advice out there to sort through. So today, I'm gonna bust some myths and show you how to make your car look amazing while saving time and of course your hard-earned money. Myth number 1, you can't wash your car in direct sunlight. You've probably read this on the back of a bottle before, right? Do not use in direct sunlight. A lot of companies choose to put that on the back of their bottle to cover their backs. People have read that so many times that eventually they just came to their own conclusion that you must not be able to wash your car in the sun. That's not true. You know who knows this best? Mobile detailers. They've had no choice but to figure out how to detail cars in the sun because that's just part of their world. They have to work where the cars are. Now, of course, washing in the shade is still ideal and much easier to do. If you're gonna wash your car in the sun, you need to be able to work quick, be strategic, and use products that allow you to bend the rules where you need to. If you want to find out why manufacturers put this warning on their labels, as well as some tasks that you can and can't do out in the sunshine, there's a link down below for you if you want to check it out. Myth number 2 is a massive one. Microfiber towels won't scratch your paint. Now, microfiber technology has been a game changer ever since it entered the detailing world. But some people seem to think that the term microfiber directly translates to will not scratch your paint. Don't let this give you a false sense of security. Dry wiping super soft, sensitive paint like my MR2 here, even with a really high quality, soft, fluffy towel like this one, can and will scratch the paint. You should never wipe the paint of your car without some kind of lubrication, even if you're just wiping off some dust. Myth number 3, there are thousands of different detailing products out there on the market. Seems like a new detailing company pops up with a line of fresh products once a week these days. But are they actually new products?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
You see, private labeling or white labeling, whatever you want to call it, is sort of the dark side of the detailing industry. There's a handful of blenders across North America that have a catalog of different detailing products. They don't want you to know this, but most detailing companies are choosing from these formulas and then changing the scent or the color to make it unique, and then just marketing the crap out of it online. Do you really think that YouTuber became an overnight chemist when they started their own product line? Well, they didn't. They're buying an existing product, putting their logo on it, and then selling it to you for way more money. And if I go missing next week, you know they found me. But what does this mean for you, the car lover? Well, if you find a product that you like to use from a company that you want to support, then just don't think about it too much. It's just business. By the way, a lot of companies use blenders, but not all of them. There are examples of ones who don't, and they're usually pretty proud to state the fact that theirs are manufactured, not bottled, manufactured in-house. Myth number 4, wax is dead. Modern ceramic coatings offer better protection and last way longer than a traditional wax does. But just because a new product has become popular, it doesn't mean that the old ones have magically stopped working the way they always have. There are still situations where wax makes more sense to use. Wax offers a unique glow in its appearance, and it does one thing that a ceramic coating can never do. It fills. Now, we've been led to believe that filling in scratches is bad. And if your job is to remove the scratches and instead you're just filling them in, then yeah, it is bad. But what about classic cars like this that don't have enough paint left on the surface to be able to safely polish out scratches and swirl marks? Well, you apply a coat of wax to make it look amazing, knowing that it's temporary and you're gonna have to reapply it again. Also, ceramic coatings are trickier to apply, especially without leaving any high spots behind. And let's be honest, applying a fresh coat of carnauba to your hot rod is kind of relaxing. Some of us really enjoy the process. Myth number 5, touchless automatic car washes are safe to use. I think by now everybody knows that the car washes that have the brushes that slap the side of your car are gonna scratch your paint. So when you see one that doesn't touch your car at all, you assume it must be safe, right? Well, this is both right and wrong. You see, is it gonna scratch your car? No. But it can damage your ceramic coating or strip your layer of wax off. How? Well, have you ever noticed how these car washes actually do a pretty decent job of getting your car clean without even touching it? What happens when you spray your favorite soap on your car and then rinse it off without touching it? It'll still have grease and grime stuck to it, right? It's the agitation with a wash mitt that removes that stuff. So in order to get your car clean without touching it, these car washes have to spray some pretty strong chemicals on it. In a lot of cases, it's hydrochloric acid or something like that. To be fair, it's probably not going to damage your car, but it is going to serve up a stone cold stunner to your wax or ceramic coating. Myth number 6, clean interiors are supposed to look shiny. It's actually the exact opposite. The surfaces of most interiors come from the factory with a matte finish. As you drive the car, things like the steering wheel or the armrests start to get shiny. That's actually a buildup of sweat, oil and grease from your skin combined with things like makeup and sunscreen and lotion. Yummy. The only other reason why your interior might look shiny is if somebody chose to put a shiny looking product on it like Armor All, but don't do that. Myth number 7, ceramic coatings make your paint scratch-proof. The 9H rating that they use to market ceramic coatings refers to the pencil hardness test. It doesn't actually mean that the coating makes your paint as hard as a pencil. It means that a sheet of bare metal with the coating applied to it won't get scratched by a 9H pencil. So it isn't talking about the hardness of the coating, it's talking about the hardness of the pencil used to attempt to scratch it. And what keeps the coating from being scratched is actually a matter of surface tension. Ceramic coated surfaces have better slickness and deflection, which makes them harder to scratch, but far from impossible. So that means ceramic coatings are scratch resistant and not scratch proof. To bust a couple of these myths at once here, you can see the scratches that my toddler put into my ceramic coated Harley Davidson when he was wiping it down with a dry microfiber towel. That was tough to watch, but sure was cute though. Myth number 8, ceramic coatings don't allow your paint to flex. Since they don't actually make your paint as hard as a 9H pencil, ceramic coatings allow your paint to flex just fine. If this myth were true, then doing something like this would cause the paint to crack and delaminate from the surface. But instead, it just flexes along with it. This 4Runner has been ceramic coated for over 7 years now. The paint cycles back and forth from super hot summers to freezing cold winters. I even take it from -30 outside and pull it into my heated garage, and it's able to accommodate the extreme temperature changes no problem. Keep in mind that most ceramic coatings are so thin that they won't even register on a paint thickness gauge. So it's safe to say it's not going to affect the structural integrity of the paint. Myth number 9. Brand new cars don't need to be detailed. You know, after you just spent $40,000+ on a new car, you would kind of hope that nothing needs to be fixed or cleaned on it, right? Unfortunately, that's not true. New cars are often transported by train, which means rail dust gets embedded in the pores of the paint. That doesn't just wash off, that requires a clay bar to remove it. It's also not uncommon for brand new cars to arrive at the dealership filled with scratches and sanding marks and holograms. Myth number 10, leather conditioners nourish the hide. Modern automotive leather has a clear coat on it for protection. Those greasy conditioners that you wipe on and then wipe off immediately after do nothing but sit on top of the surface and attract dirt. Now, there are some products that are designed to penetrate the coating, and those are a little bit different because they're intended to stay on the surface for an extended period of time. So that bottle of sunscreen from Walmart that claims to moisturize your leather is not really going to do much of anything at all. Myth number 11. Water-based tire shine won't sling onto your paint. Perhaps one of the biggest complaints people have about tire dressings is when it slings up onto their freshly washed paint job. Some people believe that silicone or solvent-based dressings are to blame for this, but it's actually due to the application. Even a water-based dressing, you know, like the ones that everybody says you're supposed to use, is going to sling onto your paint if you allow it to pool in the tread lugs here by spraying it directly onto the tire. Spraying into a brush like this directly or an applicator is the key to avoiding sling on your paint. Myth number 12, the 2-bucket wash method won't scratch your paint. For years, this was said to be the safest way to wash your car without getting any swirl marks. Basically, you have 2 buckets, one with soap and one with water. You put these grit guards in both, and when you come back for more soap on your wash mitt, you dunk it and rinse it in the clean water first. The concept is that any dirt that you washed off of your car is going to get trapped down here in the grit guard and not come back up into your wash mitt. The reality is that most of the dirt gets rinsed out of your wash mitt, but not all. And if you're using these microfiber wash mitts, they do a great job of grabbing and holding on to dirt. That means that you probably also aren't getting all of the dirt out of the fibers of the mitt whenever you dunk this in your rinse bucket. So when you come back to your car with more soap on your mitt, you're still scrubbing some of that dirt across the rest of your paint job. That's why I use multiple towels instead of a single wash mitt when I'm washing a car that's easy to scratch. Myth number 13, ceramic coatings should be rated based on years. How long a ceramic coating lasts on your paint varies based on a few factors like how it's washed, how it's used, and what kind of a climate it lives in. Saying that a coating is going to last for 5 years is not telling the whole story. The first time I coated my 4Runner, it failed after about 3 years. And the coating on my Harley here is currently 10 years and counting. Here's the thing. They both have the same G-Technic ceramic coating that's rated to last about 5 years. The difference is, obviously the Harley is more of a fair weather vehicle, and in contrast, the 4Runner, I got a little spicy with testing out what kind of chemicals it could withstand when I was washing it. Spoiler alert, an all-purpose cleaner beats up the coating pretty good. And now we know. The same goes for those windshield coatings and how often you use your windshield wipers, since the rubber rubs across the glass every time you use them. One of those products might last a year in Washington and 3 years in Arizona. Also, while we're at it, FYI, there's no such thing as a lifetime ceramic coating. What you're paying for is buying into a maintenance program that looks after the coating and reapplies a fresh layer whenever it wears out. Myth number 14, you can't spray water on your engine bay. Now, this is only a myth for modern vehicles. You can disregard if you have a classic vehicle or something that's highly modified like this. All of the components in your engine bay are weather resistant and are literally designed to get wet. Don't believe me? Well, if your engine bay was sealed off from the elements, how did it get so dirty in the first place? Now, this doesn't mean that you can just spray your alternator directly with a pressure washer at close range. You do still have to use some common sense here, but you don't have to worry about getting it wet enough to clean it and then rinse it off. Myth number 15 is that all headlights can be restored. The companies that make these products want you to believe that all you have to do is buy their kit and magically your headlights are going to look brand new again. The truth is, sometimes they're too far gone to be saved. The plastic on the inside of the lens often gets cracked or faded or discolored, and when that happens, no amount of sanding and polishing is going to bring them back. I know this because I ran into this exact scenario with this truck, and they still looked like crap. The damage was on the inside of the lens. So I ended up replacing it with brand new lights, and the front end is back to looking awesome again. Myth number 16, foam cannons get your car cleaner. It might feel like you're getting more cleaning accomplished when you see your car all covered in suds, but as long as you're using a typical pH neutral soap in your foam cannon, it isn't going to change how clean you get it. Foam cannons do have their purpose though. It's to offer lots of lubrication to the surface so you can avoid creating swirl marks. The exception here is if you're using an alkaline pre-wash soap in your foam cannon. But in that case, the high pH soap is the real hero here. The foam cannon is just delivering it. Myth number 17, you can judge how protected your paint is based on water beads. Many of us were raised to believe that if a paint job is beading water well, that means that it's protected with a good coat of wax. And while it is true that waxes and sealants and ceramic coatings do cause water to bead on the surface, there's an issue here. When it's freshly polished, completely bare paint with nothing on it also beads water. You can try it yourself. That means that you can't really rely on those water beads to judge how protected your paint is. Now, if your paint is sheeting water aggressively like it does with some of those ceramic coatings, then it becomes a little bit more obvious that it has a certain level of protection on it. The water behavior on those is just not natural looking. It'll get your attention. You'll notice it if it's there. Myth number 18, detailing is an art form. I've had people refer to me as an artist after I get done polishing their car for them, and I've seen similar comments on YouTube channels as well. And while I certainly appreciate the compliment, and I get where they're coming from, there's a big difference between a detailer and an artist. Art is creative and it's open to interpretation. Detailing, however, is just a simple yes or no answer to the question, did the job get done? Either the scratches are still there or they're gone, or either the dirt is still there or it's gone. Myth number 19, your results are based on the products you use. This is one of the worst ones because it has people constantly chasing the next greatest product and throwing their money away in the garbage. And of course, the detailing companies would love for you to believe this because they have one job, and that's to sell you more products. But the truth is, your technique is everything. Knowing how to make a product do what you want is where your results come from. You can hand me literally any compound or polish, and I'll be able to make a paint job look amazing. The wrong product is just not going to be as nice to use, and it's probably going to take a lot more time. So if you aren't getting the results that you want, you need to chase knowledge, not products. Subscribe to the channels on here that give out really good advice and learn as much as you can from them. Suddenly, your existing products are going to start to work really well. I'll be going further into detail into some of these myths in my weekly newsletter, so make sure you've signed up down below if you're interested in that. In reality, you only need 5 products to make your car look amazing. In this video, I explain what those 5 products are and how to repurpose them so you don't have to buy a whole bunch of other ones.